Hello friends, you're the Lonesome Gamer and I'm still playing 7 Ages. Well, I'm still more or less at the beginning of age 7, but the game can be over fast if the red player manages to do, well, basically only 2 successful trades, I guess. And then that can be over, but he's now 3 points behind. He will get 7 points for passing that last space first. But it's going to be very close if this would be enough to pass by the gray player, because the gray player is definitely at the moment more effectively generating glory points as the red player is. So this is going to be a very close race here. Okay, we are starting with the gray player. He has the turn marker, and he will start an empire. And these will be the Spanish. They start with 20 bucks in Castilla. Setup of -4. And that will allow them to bring Picasso on the map. This is going to be interesting. We will see a conflict here right away. And there are now lots of empires showing up in the former Spanish areas and the former French areas, which was that empire here, which was before controlled by the Roman Empire. But now we have here the Italians, we have the Portuguese, and now we have the Spanish. So the French Empire will have to struggle for survival, I guess. Okay, so the Spanish, they are actually not so much interested in being big in Europe. What they want to do is they want colonies, they want money, and they want to be a big Christian civilized empire. So they decided to build a few ships and basically build a force which is strong enough to defend the capital, but not an expansion force here. Because that would simply probably end in a stalemate with the Portuguese, and, well, that won't help anybody. I wonder now, actually, if the French have some cool card, but that's not the case. So, well, that French unit is definitely killed. We don't have to, well, I'm going to draw 2 cards here just to make the deck, to let the deck circle, but we don't have to do the fighting here. And then we can simply place all these units here, and of course also a new capital in Castile. We can promote a leader, Picasso, and yeah, let's do that. And there's, by the way, no money left. I've spent it all. Okay, there we go. This is him. And just as an explanation, usually you cannot promote a leader during the Start Empire phase, but if it's a named leader, and that's the case here, you can. So this guy shows up here. Right now he doesn't do any good, but maybe in a later turn. But I have my doubts. He will probably die pretty soon. Okay, so then we will see the yellow player starting the Germans, and they are definitely impressive. They start in the Black Forest or all Frank areas in and adjacent to Germany. So there are no Frank areas. That means they will start here, Black Forest. They might start with a leader. They have a setup of -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That brings them here. They can start with Einstein or Marx. Okay. They start with a starting money of 5 times the age. Now that is amazing. That means they start with 35 bucks. This is probably the highest starting money an empire can have in this game. Okay, 1 free maneuver after setup. Add +2 to the front line value of active tanks. So sadly they don't have any tanks yet. Still, this is pretty awesome. And, well, I think the Poles will be suffering from that. Yeah, I mean the French are basically allies. They're controlled by the same player, so it's obvious, it's the natural direction that the Germans will move north and attack the Poles here. Okay, so I've spent these guys to build my starting troops. I've spent every bit but one. I'll get a capital here. I've got to find that first. Okay, we see Einstein entering the stage, and then, well, let's see. So all these guys are standing here, and we're going to do an attack. Basically, going to try to attack the Poles here. And let's see. So I'm going to move with these guys here to the Low Countries. They come for free. And then we may start our first attack on the Poles, I guess. Well, I would say with these 3 units here. And, well, on the other hand, there are 2 units, so we need 4 to march through Germany. So I'm going to place another one in here. Okay, there are 4 units now. That means that's double the number of units which is in here. And that allows me now to move through Germany with one of the others. The problem is I cannot move into Poland because we have a movement of 2 here for, but not for infantry, huh? Only for cavalry. Wait a second. Yeah, only for cavalry. So we can actually take these guys here. Yeah, we can move through the area because for cavalry it's only 1. Okay, well then let's see. What might be a better idea than to take this guy with us and move here, and these guys might then move here. What about... Okay. And then I'm going to take this one instead. move here, and wait a second, these guys, and the cannon here. Well, basically, I think these three should actually do it, and with one, I move into Austria. Okay, so now let's do the battles. First, we're going to do here the battle in Germany. So, well, put this guy in the front and this guy in the back. I wonder if there are any cards involved. Well, there would be that one, the treachery. Play at start of conflict resolution, choose the side that wins, the other side retreats without fighting. Well, honestly, I don't think that makes much sense here. Obviously, the Germans are much stronger, so a single conflict which will be won here is probably not worth it. This card is too strong, I guess. Okay, so let's see. We have the attack then here, like that. So it's 11. But this is a -1 modifier because of the forest. Cavalry is always -1. So that's only a 10. And that's always a 6, so it's a 12, so it's a 22. So we got a defense modifier for forest of +1. So this guy comes with a, well, let's say 7 then. And he has also a -1 modifier, so it's a 22 against a 10. So the attacker draws first. Well, that's a 0. And that's a 13. So we have a difference of 11. That means no losses for the Germans here. The artist is killed. The Polish units are destroyed. And now, well, actually Germany is German. There we go. And then we attack Denmark. And let's see, well, this is not going to be so easy here. So we have these two attackers, that's a 14 and an 8. So overall this is a 22. And then we see here the defenders, that's an 11. +6, that's a 17. So if we are unlucky, we might lose this battle. Let's see, the attacker draws first. That's not so great, that's a 24. Okay, so that's a 22. So that means we can keep only one unit. The others are all lost, but still the Germans managed to win that battle. But it was definitely a tough one. And now the Germans will do an attack on Poland. Okay, there we go. So we have, wow, that's a 12. +8, that's a 20. And that's a 6 +3 because of it's in the forest and there is a cavalry has a modifier there. So that's a 9 +1 for the defense modifier. So this comes up with a 20 against a 10. So the attacker draws first, that's a 24. And that's a 15, so the difference is 9. So there are just no losses for the Germans when attacking Poland. And that means that the Polish capital is captured. This is now just a level 1 city. I'm not sure if there are any level 1 cities left. No, so I'm going to take that one instead. And the poles are destroyed. Sorry for that. But, well, honestly, they were not a real match. I mean, if you start this with... Wait a second. Actually, I cheated here. I had to leave one in Germany, but I assume that wouldn't have made much of a difference. I will take this guy here. Okay. I mean, starting with 35 bucks is simply overwhelming, and it's going to be very hard to do something against that. Okay. So the poles go away. And, well, that's it then, I guess. I wonder... I thought we would have seen three empires starting, but obviously I was wrong here. It's kind of weird. Okay, fine. So, yeah. Now let's come to the next phase, which is the production phase. And the US, they're going to do a production action. The reason is they want to be the richest. So if they do a production action now, they might well be. Let's see. They produce a lot. That's one. Oh, wait a second. Are they already in H7? No, I guess they're here. Huh? Yeah. So they are still in H6. So that means they won't gain the benefit from these oil fields here. So that's 1, 2, 3. Oh boy, 4. Okay, that's 8. Then we go on. These are 3 here. 1, 2, 3. So that's 17 then. In addition, we see the oceans. 1, 2, 3. No, wait a second. Ah, just a second. That's the same space. Damn, I missed that. I should have placed these suckers somewhere else. Okay, whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means that's 12 more. So it's... Oh, damn it. Okay, after a few times counting, I finally found out that they have 38 bucks as an income, but they have to pay maintenance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 bucks. Okay, so that's 30 if I'm not... What? 20. Damn it. I forgot again. Did they have an income of 48 or 38? I'm going to check that, but I will remember 18 bucks is the maintenance cost. So I'm going to mark that here. Okay, after counting this again, I ended up with 47. Hope that's right this time. We got 18 bucks as a maintenance. So 47 minus 18 is obviously 19. Hope I'm right here. I'm not. It's 29. Oh my goodness, it's really late. Yeah, obviously. So that's 29. Now the important point is that means The US are now the richest country in the world, and they will gain 3 glory points for that. Now this is really tough. Okay. Will anybody else do a production action? Yeah, the English. They also want to be rich. Well, who doesn't? So, I hope this is going to be a little simpler now. Pretty sure it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's $10. 1, 2, 16. That one is 21, 22, 25. Minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 13. So it's 25, man, that's $12 income. So that's not bad, but it's not quite as good as the Americans are. It's still good enough to make the Japanese being no longer among the among the 2 richest empires. So no glory points now for wealth for the Japanese. Okay, we don't see any more production actions here. And by the way, I forgot to mention one thing, and I'm going to do this now. When I attacked here, the homeland of the Japanese, and when I conquered that, I should have lost a glory point as the gray player, because the Vietnamese are a democracy. And as a democracy, if you attack someone else that hadn't attacked you before, you lose a glory point each time you capture one of their land areas. Not the sea spaces, but the land areas. Okay. Still, I think it is worth it, because destroying Japan means that the red player will lose its main power. Okay, so after the production we come to the trade and progress. And now, okay, the modern state. Which are these guys? They will do a trade action, because they're in a dark age. They have this yeah, they will give away this card here. I mean, we really got to ask ourselves, does that make so much sense? But and they pretty much suck anyway. Damn it. Anyway, I'm gonna it's tempting to hold on to that card and then maybe thinking about discarding the modern state and starting the Ottomans during a later turn. Maybe that's a good idea. But it's also going to be hard for the Ottomans. I think I want to do that trade. I mean, yeah, why not? Let's do it. So, that's a... yeah. And that's a 6 for the Ottomans. So, who's the one we're trading with? Let's see. We have a +0 trade modifier. We might trade with the Zimbabweans. They have a -1. Who else isn't doing that great? It's kind of risky to do that. But on the other hand, I guess that the red player wants to do a trade action with the Japanese. So he probably plays his strongest card with the Japanese and not with the Zimbabweans. Therefore, I think I can take that risk. Okay, so I play this one. Still the red player. Gosh, it's hard for him to decide what to do here. He plays a 5. It's going to be hard to win that trade, but he tries it anyway. So let's draw the cards. Okay, that's just a 3. So that's a 9 overall. So the red player has to be extremely lucky here. That's a 4. That would be also a 9, but the negative trade modifier makes it to an 8. Therefore, it's not enough to win that trade. And the modern state will actually move 2 spaces ahead. Okay, actually that was a pretty stupid idea by the yellow player. He should not have traded with the red player, because now of course the red player has that strong card. But okay, sometimes it's hard to keep those things in mind, although it's obvious, of course. So the next trade in progress action will be then by the Japanese, as predicted. They are simply trying somehow to make it over this threshold here. So what they're going to do is, well, they're going to throw in now this 6 here and hope for the best. So let's see who they will trade with. Okay, who's not doing that great? The Japanese have a trade modifier of +2, so that is awesome. So if they find someone with a trade modifier of 0 or so, it should be actually fine. They might trade with the Vietnamese. That has the advantage that the Vietnamese cannot trade themselves. And I think they're going to do that. So it's a little risky, but yeah, we got to try these things. Okay, so a 6 for the red player here. And, well, then it's the Vietnamese. And they are in trouble because they have only really crappy cards. I think they're going to throw in this one, the 2. So that means, well, that is a 4, so it's a 10, a 12 for the Japanese player. And that's a 6, an 8, no, wait a second. That's only a 3, so that's a 5 for the Vietnamese player. Okay. So that allows now the Japanese player actually move, well, let's see, yeah, he can move 4 spaces ahead. Because he has that print, no, that's not true, only 3 spaces. Because he has that printing, which allows him to move an extra space during trade or after trade. And, well, he could move 2 spaces, and now this is the last one. Okay, so I think in the next turn it could be over. That's really hard. It's a tough one. It's really going to be very, very, very close now. Okay. Anybody else doing a trade? Well, probably not. So now we come to the maneuver phase, and we're going to see the Vietnamese. And they're going to do an attack. on these Japanese wheat areas. First, well, these guys will stay here, and these suckers attack here. I hope it's good enough. And then these two units, they will attack here. Well, actually, I wonder, I might do it the other way around. I think I come from here. I think I will actually take the tank and move him in here. And this guy moving here. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's do the conflicts here. But I think the Japanese won't stand a chance here with knights and swordsmen against tanks. That's a little ridiculous. So, okay, I think they come with a combat value of 8. There is a river which gives them a +1, I guess. So 9 versus a combat value of 14. So I guess that's good enough. Oh boy, that's the attacker's value. So, wait a minute. Actually, the red player has that one. Okay. So the red player is going to double its units values here. So that could be good enough then. Okay, so overall we have now a 14, that's just a 15, versus, oh boy, that is an, yeah, but it's still good enough. That's a 16 then, because the values are doubled here, and a 17. So that means the attacker is destroyed, and one of the defending units is also destroyed, but the red player can hold on to this wheat area here. Okay. I mean, every single glory point might be valuable now. And then we see here another attack by the Vietnamese. And they now have this elephant committed to the front line. And if that's the case, then the front line values of each cavalry unit is ignored. So basically that means that the Japanese don't have any values here. And the others come with an attack value of 8. So the attacker draws first. Okay, that's a 12 and, well, a 3. So basically here the attack was successful. So what does that mean now? Well, it means that the city is reduced by 1. And it also means that the gray player loses a glory point. But in return, on the other side, it also means that the red player will gain 1 less glory point during Harness Glory. Okay, so that was then the action of the Vietnamese. And the Free State will play the wild card as a maneuver action. So they can now spread out here. So they can move in here. That city is going to be reduced. And, well, let's see. Here, and I guess here. And that guy can move here. Well, and I guess they're going to move here. And, well, they might move here. They could even consider attacking that city here, but I think that's not the best idea. And, well, what about this guy here? Not sure. Well, that's a movement value of 2. I think they might actually move up here. These guys move down here. Okay, that's fine. So we're pretty big now. And we control 2 of these wheat. So overall, we might gain a few points for that. Okay, so the French, they decided also to do a maneuver action. But is that really what they want to do? Now, this is a tough decision. I mean, we can say, okay, we have the Spanish here. So I can try to do an attack against the Spanish if someone is able to help me here, but it's not looking good, I think. So I guess I don't want to do that. I'm simply too weak to attack the Spanish here. So I think actually I will not move at all. Maybe I'm gonna bring a few troops into goal from the Alps. But I don't think that's I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna bring actually these 2 units into goal and the Alps. They end up like this. Well, and that's basically it then. Okay, well, what else happens? The Arabs, they're also going to do a maneuver action. Okay, and they can now spread out even further. They were already pretty successful, and now they move here into Persia. Now let's see. That's a pretty strong unit, but damn it. I think I want to leave just this unit here, or maybe that one. That should do it. And I'm going to place this guy here in Persia. The tanks can actually move 4 spaces, so they can move up here to Armenia and grab that other oil space here. So I'm going to take probably all of these 3 tanks, just move here, and then if there is another turn I might be able to attack here and gain a few glory points for killing non-Islamic units. But first I will count if it makes a difference if I will move here or there. If that would give me... Question is, am I the biggest Islamic country or not? So what about the French? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I guess. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I will change it actually. I will move here and here. So now I'm the biggest Islamic country, and that gives me a lot of points actually. 3 points. So that's definitely cool. Okay, then we see another maneuver action by the Portuguese. So they will now attack the French here. Will they? Huh. Now that's the problem. If they do this, they risk being attacked by the Spanish. So maybe they can make a deal here. And I think that's... ah, boy. On the other hand, do you want to make a deal with the leading player? Probably not. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm simply going to ask, does anybody have a strong card to help me slaughtering the Spanish? And actually that's the case. So I'm going to attack the Spanish. Basically with all these units here. And we'll see what happens. And basically what happens is somebody else plays treachery. Play at start of a conflict resolution, choose the side that wins, the other side retreats without fighting. Destroy it if retreat impossible. That's the case here. These suckers cannot retreat anywhere. So that means the Spanish will be destroyed if they don't come up with a pretty bad cancel card, which is not the case. So we managed to prevent the first player from establishing another empire here. I think that's good. I mean, it's not exactly fair, I guess, but that's probably how things will turn out. I mean, if a player is in the lead, then the others will probably gang up against him, and someone might play a fight card, even if he's not involved in a conflict, but it's allowed to do this. Okay, so that was then the Portuguese action, and well, we got the Italians here. They have a wild card, so that would still leave me the option now to make an attack here. But I don't want to do that, to be honest. So maybe... gosh. I find it really hard to decide what I want to do here. The Italians are in a very bad position. They are surrounded by the French. On the other hand, the Portuguese are on my side. So, hey, maybe... damn it. So I guess I'm gonna attack here in goal with all these forces. And this guy here will move to Cisalpine to protect that from an attack. I don't know if it's such a great idea, but I think I simply have to push on here. Okay, so let's see. It's going to be hard to win. But anyway, I'm gonna try it. So these are my attacking forces, these are the defending forces. That means we have a 12 and a 10. So that's a 24 against a 9 plus 13. So that against a 22. That's going to be an interesting battle. So yeah, let's do the attack first. Oh boy, that's a 24 against a 26. So that means I'm going to lose everything, and these suckers can choose to keep one unit. And that's going to be, which one? That's going to be the ship, I guess. And the others are also destroyed. Okay, I think now that this might be still an advantage for me, because now I have the Portuguese here on my side, and if we do this from both sides, maybe we're able to win that. But it's well, it won't change the outcome of the game, obviously. So that was the action of the Italians, and that's the end of the maneuver phase. Now we see the destiny phase, and there is actually one destiny action by the Russians, simply because the green player only has one card left, so he's going to draw 5 cards. Okay. A gold mine is awesome. That's very, very strong. Overrun can be a strong action during a maneuver action. An uprising can be a nasty one. La Patrie en danger. Play when target empire starts production. Half cost of its new unit. Awesome. So that's not so bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So that's the end of the destiny phase, and we're going to see one civilized action by the Zimbabweans. Okay, so first they're going to play that card. Karma. Play to remove all disorder from Empire. So that's a pretty cool card. Now question is, will anybody try to cancel that card? Well, maybe. We have here the bad augury. And I think this card will be cancelled because it's one of the leading players, and, well, we don't want him to win, will we? Okay, what else? Well, we can play maybe a few artifacts here. The forum shop should be possible. On the other hand, that's hard to decide now. Okay, so we're going to play that one, which is even better, I guess. Just Rule. It's a 6 card, but we still do have another one. Another 6 card for maybe the last trade. So it's a little risky, but on the other hand, we need these points that we will gain through this card. So Just Rule is an artifact. That means it's on Zimbabwe. We are allowed to remove all disorder markers. So that's the perfect artifact here. Just wonder if we have anything to cancel that. No, actually we don't, I think. So all the disorder markers are removed here. So that's pretty amazing, because that means now for the red player that he is again the biggest one in Africa. So that gives him then an additional point. Okay. And then we gain another additional point for playing that artifact. Pretty cool. Is there anything else we can do? I don't think so. What about the copper mine? That's just $5. That's not enough to bring the Japanese on the second place. So that doesn't really help here. Okay. So then we can promote a leader. We're going to do that. We have 2 picks here. And that's no leader. And that is a philosopher. Wow. That could be. No, I don't think it's interesting, no. But still, it's okay to have that guy. We're going to place him somewhere here. Fine. Okay. Then we can adopt the religion or government. And that is something we're going to do. I'm going to adopt democracy. Here we go. That would allow me to do a second trade action with these guys without gaining that penalty for using a wild card. In addition, it gives me another glory point. And as I said, every single glory point now counts. Okay. Then we come to the modernize actions, and that's definitely something we want to do. We can more or less modernize every unit, I guess. Maybe not quite, but not these guys. But definitely these. I'm going to do this off camera. Okay, then we can urbanize. So what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade these 2 cities to level 5 cities, and we're going to make this city in Zululand my new capital. I'm allowed to do this. I've lost my capital, and now I have a new one, and that is a level 5 capital right from the beginning. I just have to find that. Okay, so that's the civilized action of the Zimbabweans, and that was a pretty good move, I guess. I mean, they're looking much healthier than they did at the beginning of this action, and they made 2 points. Okay, so I guess we're done now. Yep. So now we simply do the progress step. So the Japanese move here now on space 49. We see these are the who is that? Who's that one? Nobody. These were the... Ah, yeah, these were the Spanish. Exactly. Not anymore. Okay. Is there anybody else moving on? Okay, there we are. So the only ones not in a dark age is the modern state and the French. But the Americans and the Germans don't suffer from the consequences because of their scientists. And of course, all the ones in age 7 also don't get a penalty here. So let's start now with the glory points. This is now really an intense moment. So basically, the point is that the gray player wants to be, I guess, about 7 spaces ahead of the red player. because it's very likely that the red player can finish this in the next turn. I'm not sure if the game ends right at the moment when the trade is done or at the end of that turn. So I'm going to check that. Okay, so the game ends actually at the end of the turn when a player moves over that threshold. So that is definitely an advantage for the gray player here. But we'll see about all these things. So let's see. It's 2 points, American start. It's 2 points for the Americas, 2 points for the biggest seafaring nation, 1 point for the second biggest Christian nation, and 3 points for the wealthiest nation. So that's a lot of money. That means we got 4, 5, 8 points. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And now it's an interesting question. I think actually that, yeah, the gray player will play Glorious Glory. Double everyone's glory, positive and negative. Nobody has a way to cancel that, so that will happen now. Okay, so that gives then 16 points to the states. So from 45 to 55 to 61. And I think the usual 10 points to the Vietnamese. So that's 71 then. Or the usual 5 points, and that's doubled, it's 10 then. Whoa. The English. Okay, 1 point for the homeland, 3 for the colonies, 1 for the money, and 2 for the fleet. That's a lot of stuff. So that's 4, 5, 7 points, 14 points for the English. Brings them to 94. And the Free State, well, it's not so bad actually. 1, 2 points. And now let's see if they're the third in the world. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't think so actually. But it's only on the land. So it's possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The French would be bigger. So will the US and of course the Russians. So they are not. So basically it's only 2 points for the Free State. But that is doubled. So that's 4 points here. Okay, the French, 1 for their homeland, 2 for their colonies. Is it still 1 for Europe? Not sure about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're even with the Germans here. But they both control the same. That's an interesting. So it obviously doesn't matter. So he takes that point for Europe. So that's 4 points for the French. So it's 8 points for the yellow player. Brings him to 19. And the modern state isn't doing well. Oh boy. He's lost his homeland. Oh, that's it. Minus 2 points. Oh boy, that sucks. Remember, the negative points are also doubled. And he had his home area in Mesopotamia. The Germans, that's 1 point for the homeland, and they are third in Europe. So that's another point. Overall, 4 points for the Germans. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. And now it's going to be interesting. It's going to be now the red player. So that's 1 point. 2 points for the Zimbabweans. Now it's an interesting question. Well, no, obviously it's fine. 2 points and then 4 because of that special card. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Japanese, well, they are not doing well. They gain 1 point for the second in the world. 1 point for the wheat, and they lose a point for their homeland. So that means only 2 points here for the Japanese. That sucks. The Arabs, well, it has to be them now. So that's 1 point, 3 points for being the biggest Islamic country. And the world, well, they are definitely not one of the biggest countries in the world, I guess. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I am. Okay, anyway, that's 4 points for them, so 8 points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, that is not so great. That's probably not good enough for the red player to finish this. And now we see finally the green player. So the Portuguese have basically only 2 points. The Russians, 4 points. 5 points for the Russians, actually. So, yes, 5 points for the Russians, so that's 10. The Italians, 2 points, doubled. Okay, so it's 2 points overall for the Italians. So they're still behind. Well, that card, that was an amazingly strong card from the grey player, this Glorious Glory. That was possibly what might have brought him the victory here. If not for that card, the gap between these two would not have been that big. And I'm pretty sure that the Japanese, with their 8 points or 7 points in the next turn, maybe could have won that game. But now I don't think they're good enough. I don't think the red player is good enough to make it. Will he finish the game anyway? Not sure. Well, okay, so I guess we're done here. It's the end of that turn. And yeah, well, we'll see at least one more turn. And I'm not sure what the red player will do, if he will try to really win that game, which is going to be very hard, or if, I mean, we really got to calculate this, if there is a chance for him to win that, if he does a successful trade here. I doubt it, actually. I don't think so. But well, who knows? Okay, so hope to see you in the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.